Anti-outpost Bengalis, first and foremost, I need to make sure everybody takes note of the referrals you have here on the screen. If you experience or you know anyone who's experienced or is at risk for suicide or has a depressive episode, feeling overwhelmed, please access the Suicide Prevention Lifeline or call 911, medical, police, and fire assistance. Also, you see 211, 311, 511. It's going to depend on your county. You can likely use these 3 digits to access information regarding basic needs and mental health referrals that aren't necessarily an emergency. So the purpose of this video is to re-emphasize what has never ever been anything other than the focus of this channel. The objective is to hold Umar Johnson accountable. That has never changed. It will never change. Just because information can't be brought to the forefront at this point in time doesn't mean it's not being a point of focus in other venues. However, Umar has presented yet another opportunity to refocus and redirect our efforts towards ensuring Umar is stopped when it comes to him misrepresenting, just straight up lying about who he is. He's feeling the pressure because of this Kevin Samuels is coming for and getting the very few people who continue to donate to Umar. So those opportunities are dwindling. So Umar has to get on here and further resume the lie that he is a clinician and a therapist. We've been through this before. 3 years ago, remember people, Umar Johnson lied his way out of disciplinary charges. The fact that they didn't give a damn that he was lying on and exploiting other black folks, that's not an issue that was ever going to be left unresolved. Umar never proved he worked at that school. So those records are still intact. So now Umar again is in desperation mode, trying to figure out a way to compete, standing outside of an abandoned bomb shelter, trashing anybody who dares to come on the internet, not just Kevin Samuels, anyone who comes on the internet that wants to give any sort of advice. I stated it. You do not need a license to give someone, quote, advice. It's how you're representing yourself. And the fact that you better be ready if an emergency arises, you better know how to deal with that, or you can be held accountable. So if somebody's willing to take that risk, take that risk. Here's the situation now with Umar Johnson. He gets on this interview with Lamont Hill and just starts rattling off more lies. That's how Umar Johnson does it. He's extremely angry. I don't know if you all watched the interview. If you haven't, look at him trying so hard to control himself. He's looking towards the camera. He's trying so hard to concentrate so he doesn't lose his focus. He's livid and he tries to restrain himself. But Lamont Hill was able to read a post that showed who Umar was. He has the nerve to say he doesn't respond to people who are, what was it? No, you know what? I'm going to let you hear it. Then I'm going to come back and tell you the lies that he is spewing about suicide statistics. Stay tuned and I will return.
Dr. Umar, you wrote something on Instagram the other day. You said there is a growing male YouTubian community that is creating a sector dedicated to slandering and criticizing black women who don't emulate Eurocentric standards of beauty and success. Unfortunately, many sisters have become prey for these coons due to an unconscious need for male validation. Black women, you don't need a man to validate your worth. Many people took that as a shot at Kevin Samuels, the online advice giver, relationship expert. He, of course, responded in a video directly addressed to you. What were you trying to communicate with this? I don't want to assume that you were talking about him, although he certainly took it that way. One, were you talking about him? And two, what were you trying to communicate there?
Yes, sir. My comments were not particularly directed to that gentleman. And in fact, he had made some slanderous comments towards me in a video that he had put together a couple of weeks ago. I saw that video, but I did not respond to it. I make it a point, when at all possible, to not respond to individuals whose intellectual competence I consider to be far below my own.
Oh my God, people, Umar Johnson is so immature. Did you catch it? Well, actually, he was talking about me, and he makes me slanderous statements about me. That wasn't the question. There was a direct question. He can't even answer a direct freaking question. He's like, he's on the second grade playground. This is not a situation where two people are having a private conversation and the emotions are heated and people are just going back and forth. He's supposed to be giving a professional interview, and he's basically trying to control a temper tantrum, which he's not doing a very good job at it. He's struggling mightily, and it's coming through. Excuse me, he wants people to believe that he has an intelligence level that is so high that he's going to resort to what he normally does, using these pejoratives and these verbally abusive statements by calling people coons. Who can actually debate somebody when they're calling you a coon? They're not worthy of debating. Why didn't Umar use those words during that interview? Because he's perpetrating a fraud. When Umar is saying words like coon, that's the real Umar. So he is not interviewing every day. So in ordinary life, he's saying, beneath my intelligence level. That's going really low. How low can you go? If you're talking about sexual assault, molestation victims, and date rape victims, and you're calling them hot asses, and they're after older men and thoughts. We know Umar has said all of these things, and here he is trying to be Mr. Do-Gooder. Okay, let me go to the statistics for suicide. Umar never learns, and that is just fine with me. I'm actually happy he did this interview because he implicated himself, and he's just going to get the ball. He's just getting the ball rolling again. I don't know about anybody else out there. I haven't grown tired for 1 second. I wish I had more time to devote to this, but trust you me, I am in for the long haul. No matter who comes, no matter who goes, I am here. So here Umar Johnson is again lying about being a therapist, trying to ward off all of the other people coming on, giving relationship advice. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say people. All the other black men, let's get specific, giving relationship, dating, and marriage advice to black women, to us, sisters. He thinks he should have a monopoly on this, and he's extremely threatened. I'm not even going to get into right or wrong. I've already posted a few videos about how I felt about Kevin Samuel's rhetoric. So I'm not getting into that. I'm focusing on Umar and his lies that he tells in order to try to impress people as if he knows more, when in fact he knows nothing. Especially encroaching into this field he knows nothing about. He just rattles shit off the top of his head, and he gives no resources. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. He gave a statistic about suicide, and I'm going to let you hear what he stated, and then I'm going to come back and tell you how asinine Umar's statements are. Stay tuned and I will return.
Suicide, for example, Dr. Hill, is the second leading cause of death for black males 1 to 19, and it is the third leading cause of death for black males 20 to 44, but that's not being discussed. Suicide, for example, Dr. Hill, is the second leading cause of death for black males 1 to 19, and it is the third leading cause of death for black males 20 to 44, but that's not being discussed.
I have something to show you, people. Umar Johnson is absolutely just pulling shit out of that, literally some of the shit out of that toilet he loves to stare into, that he has this affection, this relationship with. He managed to pull some of that shit out of the toilet, and he exposed it on this Lamont Hill interview. He stated ages between 1 and 19, and here's the chart up here, people. Suicide is the second leading cause of death. Okay, remember he says he's this intelligent person. He doesn't even know basic statistics. Mental health, social service, health-related statistics. He says he has a doctorate degree. I have a master's degree, so how is it that I know much more about statistics than Umar Johnson? Well, I'm quite sure, because I was a grant writer for 13 years, which involved using statistics. But even then, so I'm showing you basic information that anybody who has a doctorate degree should know. You do not calculate statistics for suicide until age 10. He's telling you age 1 to 19. Now let's look at this chart here, people. So let's go with what Umar Johnson is saying. We can't even start until age 10. And then the categories are not even fitting with what Umar Johnson claims. Where the hell is he getting these stats? He's pulling them out of his ass, or out of that toilet. The shit out of that toilet. 10 to 19. So let's go with that category. He says suicide is number 2. Go by the modified category. It's number 3. So he's wrong there on 2 accounts. The range of ages are off, and the ranking is off. He just rattled it off the top. Where is he getting this info? He didn't even tell you. People who are truly scholars and professionals will cite their resources. They bring in other people. They will reference what they read. They will produce the information. So let's go to the next statistic. He says suicide is the third leading cause of death for males 20 to 44. We're talking about black males, and this is black males. Again, the category, we're bleeding over into the former category, so we've got to go to age 15, and you got to take it to 44, and suicide is off the chart when you go to age 44. So the whole category is not even relevant. It says 3, but the ages aren't matching. And then when you go to age 44, it falls off the chart. Then on balance, listen people, on balance, as top 10 leading causes of death, suicide doesn't even rank with black males as a leading cause of death overall. Do you see why Umar Johnson is so destructive and so dangerous? He has to come on and say anything. It doesn't even matter. Why didn't Umar have any documents with him? We know he was doing this interview from that abandoned bomb shelter. We know he is living there. I am giving you examples, people, of why Umar Johnson is so dangerous to our community. And now he is stark raving mad, trying to act like he is under control. When is he going to start threatening to kill people who are challenging him? Did he threaten to kill anybody in the manosphere? Did he threaten to kill Kevin Samuels? Who has he called gay in the manosphere? Has he attacked Kevin Samuels' sexual orientation? No, Umar miscalculated. He thought, and there are other people that are saying the same thing. Oh, Umar Johnson went after anti-Apple Scangalis because she's an easy target. Umar Johnson went after Rev G because they're easy targets. Are we easy targets? Who are the people that are actually holding Umar accountable? If you look at what has occurred with Umar, all of the things that Umar thought he had going on, they are no more because of who? Because of the anti-fraud warriors. The fact that Umar Johnson is twisting in the wind, he is living in an abandoned bomb shelter with no electricity, no water. Are we saying this is what we wanted for Umar Johnson? No. Umar Johnson, however, cannot prosper as a fraud. We will not allow it. So we are going to continue to do what we have done, which is hold Umar accountable. That's the goal. He has no right. He has no legal right. It is illegal for him to continue to come on a national platform and tell people he is a therapist. It is a joke how he has talked about black women over the years, and now he is threatened because other people are coming on and they're catching the attention. Where all Umar Johnson does is talk and beg for money. That is it, people. Here is another example of how Umar has essentially proven himself to be non-credible in every respect. All talk and no action. Bottom line, I'm repeating, I am glad this interview took place. Umar gave us plenty of ammunition. We are going to restart the ball, the wheel, the process. This is a gift to anti-fraud warriors. However else somebody chooses to take it, they can. It's a free country. You can take something wherever you want. Your mind is free to flow in the way you desire for it to flow. And mine is, this is a gift. This is a gift to anti-fraud warriors. We will go on and do what we have always stated we will do. It doesn't matter whether 100, 1,000, 2,000, 300,000 people are on board. It is not going to change. One thing that will never change as well is you needing to heed the warning. Buyer beware.